All right, well, hello there. Okay, I'm doing this video to explain when members are pricing by gross margin, why they shouldn't, first of all. And the most important reason why we price by the sold day is because we can understand what our break even is. And break even is your most important number to understand. What is break even? Okay. When you're pricing by gross margins, you have no idea. You honestly don't know what your break even is. Okay. And I'm going to give you a couple scenarios here and explain why. So here is a scenario where you're pricing by the sold day. So you've gone through your profit pricer, you understand whatever mechanism you're using to come up with your sold day labor rate or your cost, your break even, basically for your labor and your overhead per day. So what is your break even for a labor and overhead per day? So let's say it's $3,400. Your material cost on a job is $4,000. And let's say you're going to have a commission of 8%, you're looking for a 25% net. Okay, this is your selling price because it's easy math. Okay, you're adding up the sums, the 3,400 and the 4,000 to get $7,400, and you're going to add together the percentages. So basically, you got 33% here. So you got 1 minus D9, which is the 8% commission minus the net profit. That's going to equal 33. So you subtract that from 1, and that's going to give you 67. So to find the margin, you have to divide by the inverse, and that's what you're doing here. So you have your cost identified as $7,400, and you're looking for 33%. You divide it by 0.67 because you're looking for 33%. You're looking for 8% commission, and then 25% net profit. Okay. And that's your selling price when you're doing that. And now you can easily understand what your break even is because you just subtract 25% from that. Okay? To get you your break even. So I can sell this number. I can cover all of my overhead, all of my material cost, even pay a commission, okay, of 8%. And I'm covering all my costs. I'm not making any money, but I'm covering my cost. It is important to understand that a zero profit day is much better than a $0 day. Because if I miss this day, if I don't sell this job because I'm missing it, I'm losing $3,400 for every day I sit stagnant. Because that's my labor and my overhead in a day. So my overhead doesn't go away because I don't have a job. I still have overhead today. So it's important to understand that, to understand break even, so you can fill your days even with a zero profit day. All right? Here's what you can't do when you're doing it by gross margin. Typically, gross margin, you put in your labor, $40 an hour, 8 hours, you put in your labor amount, you put in your material costs, same as this one, and you're looking for a 45% gross margin. Well, what's your overhead? What's your overhead if this material is $4,000 or $2,000? What's your overhead? Your overhead doesn't change every day. Okay? So you have an overhead number a day that you have to capture. So you have to, and it doesn't matter what the material cost is on the job, you still have to capture a day's worth of overhead. Okay? So in this job right here, you're getting 45% on the direct cost and the material, but you're not covering any overhead here. You're hoping that there's overhead money in this 45%, so you can make 25 and you got 20% overhead possibly, or whatever your thought process is. Okay? But I'm just showing you that your overhead becomes a floating number when that material changes, because 45% covers profit and overhead, if you change that material number, this number down here changes because this number right here has 45% profit and overhead in it for your selling price. But you change this, let's say you have zero material. Hello. Can't do a job for labor anymore. Okay? So you got $1,000 job. It's $1,800. Do you think you're covering much overhead with that $1,800 when you're putting 45% on that? $6,000. And I know the canned answer. Well, we have a metric that proves out when we go above this number and go above that number and this and that. And I've heard all the bullshit, guys. Okay, don't need to feed it to me. You don't know. Bottom line is, I know to a penny what break even is, how low I could go on this job. And that's something you don't know. So how low can you go to win this job? You have no idea. I know that this is how low I could go on this job based off of covering my overhead, covering all my labor, even paying a commission. Even if I said, okay, I'm not going to pay a commission on this job, okay? $7,400 where I need to be, but I'm covering overhead and labor. You have to know that, guys. This is no way to run a business. Pricing off of gross margin. You can't do it. It's impossible to manage that business. And I know a lot of you are going to say, I've been doing that forever and I'm still in business. I make good money. You making 25% nets? Okay. I can show you where you can sell days if you're 80% efficient in your company, meaning you got 16 days you need to sell out of 20, and you put 25% on all those 16 days, you'll make 25%. I can show you how you'll make 20% if you put zero profit on all those days and sell 20 days. Because I'm selling 4 more days of overhead. After my 16th day, it's break even. I've covered my overhead. I've still covered 16 days times this. Now I've got 4 extra days times 3,400, which is close to 13,600, I think. Could be wrong, but I think that's right. Of profit for the month. So I can still make 20% because 20% of my days are still left. 4 out of 20 days are left. I got 20% days left, so I'm still going to make 20%. Okay? So just 20% profit is what I'm going to make. Okay? So just so you understand, you guys cannot, please, stop pricing by gross margin. If you have any questions, pushback on this, give me a call. But gross margins is a loser's game. I'm just pointing it out in black and white. The most important number you're supposed to know is break even. That comes straight from Frank J. Blau. If you don't know your your break even number over here, because you don't know how much overhead you need in a day over here. You're hoping that the 45% is going to cover it. Well, $20,000 covers more overhead out of $20,000 material covers more overhead if you're doing 45%. And I know you guys are saying, well, we have a sliding scale, we'll only go 30% there. Why shoot yourself in the foot, for Christ's sakes? Anyways, you don't know, you're just guessing. All you're doing is guessing. Stop guessing, for crying out loud. All right, I'm done. Have a great day. If you have any questions, please give me a call.